Hi guys, my name is Bex and welcome back to my channel, and today I'm bringing to you my November wrap-up. So guys, November is finally over and it has been an experience. A few things happened in the month of November which were really exciting. I turned 27 in the month of November, so that was really good, so I did a lot of birthday things. But in the month of November, a reading slump hit, which is not what you want when you're getting so close to the end of the year, but it happened, I conquered it, and we moved on. So as the slump hit in November, I ended up reading 5 books, and honestly, a lot of them were audiobooks, and there was a graphic novel, and physical books were very low on. I was just trying to push through the reading slump, and I tried to come out the other side, and look, it was an experience, but let's just move on. And before I jump into November stats, I thought I would let you guys know that I have a booktube survey that is linked down below, that if you would like to give some feedback on my channel, you can. It's been a really big year in terms of my booktube. I've surpassed 1K and I felt like the quality of my videos were a lot better, but I can always use your feedback. So the link is down below and I would love to hear your thoughts. So without further ado, let's jump into the stats for November. So in the month of November, I read 5 books which totaled 1,826 pages. The genre breakup was 2 fantasy, 1 historical fiction, 1 mystery, and 1 contemporary. And this is the month where the audiobooks really started to shine. I read 3 audiobooks, 1 graphic novel, and 1 physical book. And now let's get into ratings because a lot of good books were read. I had 1 2.5-star book, 3 4-star books, and 1 5-star book. So overall, a really good quality month, which is really all I could hope for when I'm not reading a lot of books. And now with all the stats out of the way, let's just dive into the books that I read, starting with my least favorite and moving all the way up to my favorite read of November. Starting with my 2.5-star read of the month, this was an audiobook, and this was The Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy by Mackenzie Lee. And I know a lot of you are probably thinking, but Beck, you loved A Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue, and yes I did. So you can imagine my disappointment when I listened to this and was like, alright. A Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy follows Felicity Montague, who has always wanted to study medicine and become a doctor. She prefers going to parties to sitting down and reading books about bone setting. And after her whirlwind tour of Europe with Monty and Percy, Felicity has returned to England to try to avoid the marriage proposal of Callum. Unfortunately, as smart as she is in the eyes of men, she is not fit to be a doctor. And that's when a surprising opportunity comes to her and she decides to track down Dr. Alexander Platt, who is an eccentric physician who she really admires, and she goes on a bit of an adventure, and as usual for the Montague siblings, something goes wrong. And this is like kind of an adventure story following Felicity. She is a good main character. I really liked her in A Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue. She's a strong female, she's asexual, and she just gets things done. However, the audiobook narration for this one really annoyed me. The voice of Felicity was really whiny and irritating, and unfortunately for me, this story really dragged. It was over a 400-page read, and I really didn't enjoy the experience, not only the audiobook experience, but the fact that Felicity's character got really irritating, and it got really repetitive, I found, with she was preaching the same thing all the time, and it just got a little bit exhausting for me. So unfortunately this did not live up to the first book in the series, but if you liked Felicity, you may enjoy this, but I really liked her in the first book, and in this one I was like, please stop. Now moving on to some more positive books. The next book I want to talk to you about, and one of my 4-star reads, was Giant Days, Volume 2 by John Allison, Lissa Treeman, and Max Sarin. And I finally picked up another Giant Days book, and this one did not disappoint. I was a little bit underwhelmed by the first volume, but the second volume just smashed it out of the park, and I really enjoyed it. This is kind of a slice of life story about 3 girls going to university. Susan, Esther, and Daisy are experimenting, and in this book we've got hometown rivals, and we have a holiday ball, and quite rudely we have exams. I really like the art style in this one, and I really like the characters. They're really starting to grow on me, and I'm definitely glad that I listened to Chelsea from Chelsea Darling Reads and continued on, because this is going to be one of my favourite contemporary graphic novels. I can just feel it. The next 4-star read I read as a part of a book club. This book club was formed by Miss Sassy Cassie to read The Raven Boys, and now now we are on to Blue Lily Lily Blue by Maggie Stiefvater. Blue Lily Lily Blue was our read for November. I will leave a link to our live show up above and down below if you would like to go check it out and hear all our in-depth thoughts and see what a hot mess we are. But Blue Lily Lily Blue is one of my kind of least favorite books in the series of the Raven Cycle. This is a reread for me, and it kind of, the Raven Boys follows a group of friends that are looking for a dead Welsh king. So it's a really, really good adventure story. It's about friendship and the writing is lyrical and beautiful, but the magic system doesn't make sense. So thanks Chelsea from Chelsea Darling Reads for freaking ruining this series for me, because now I know the magic system doesn't make sense and now I like pick it out while I'm reading it how things don't make sense. So thanks, Chels. Appreciate it. From a reminiscent factor, I really loved reading Blue Lily Lily Blue. I love the audiobooks. I think the narration is fantastic and it's really atmospheric, which I really, really enjoy. But the magic system doesn't make sense, so it only gets a 4 stars. The next book I listened to on audiobook was Sadie by Courtney Summers. But every booktuber and their mother have been talking about Sadie by Courtney Summers, and I jumped on the bandwagon because I was not reading a lot of physical books and I felt like, you know what, everyone says the audiobook's amazing, and holy was it amazing. Now, I don't read a lot of mystery on my channel. It's not really my thing, but I feel like this one really threw me in the deep end. Sadie goes in alternating perspectives from a girl named Sadie and a reporter. Our main character Sadie has not had an easy life. She grew up with a mother who was a drunk and raised her little sister Maddie. But when Maddie is found dead, Sadie's world crumbles. Sadie is determined to bring her sister's killer to justice, so she takes matters into her own hands. But alternate to that, Wes McCrae is working a segment on forgotten towns in America. He overhears Sadie's story in a gas station and becomes obsessed with finding this missing girl. So Wes starts his own podcast and goes through trying to track down Sadie and where she's been, hoping to find her before it is too late. And oh guys, this book was really, really emotional. It was really, really interesting, and the audiobook was absolutely fantastic because it has our 2 main characters and a full cast. The podcasts sound real and were really, really interesting to read, and it was such a great experience on audiobook. The mystery kept me guessing the whole time, and the ending, it really, really blew my mind, the ending, and that is why this is my second favorite read of the month, because I was sitting in my car and I didn't think I was really attached to the story, but the last line of the book, I literally just broke down in tears. I realized how attached I was to this story. It felt so real and it felt so raw, and I loved diving into this audiobook. I definitely recommend this one. I definitely recommend Sadie if you're looking for a mystery, but if you also are looking for a really, really good audiobook, this is definitely one to put on your list, because I feel like the audiobook really brought out the emotions in me and it was an amazing read. And last but not least, my favorite book of November was Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. I was holding off on this one because I was really, really scared, and oh, it did not disappoint. There were twists, there were turns, the characters are phenomenal. It is obviously the second book in a duology. Six of Crows follows Kaz and a bunch of criminals as they try to do an impossible heist. And this one follows off from where that one left off, so I can't really dive into much more about it. But honestly, Crooked Kingdom is like the little book of deception that I have always wanted. It has morally great characters, it has a beautiful, beautiful world and amazing world building. Look, and it has a little bit of revenge, which I really enjoyed. And basically this whole book was a whole lot of hold the fuck on, it's about to get real, and it got so real and it got so raw and it got so emotional and I got so many more character moments that I loved, and it was really, really good. And now I'm ready for King of Scars, and Leigh Bardugo's writing just gets better and better, so I cannot wait to dive into King of Scars to see where this story goes and to see what cameos of characters we have, because this book had cameos and I squealed. And it's just a really good fantasy. If you like beautiful fantasies and beautiful world building, this one is definitely for you. And that is it from me today, guys. Those are the 5 books I read in the month of November, and I'm glad that the slump is over. It is the 2nd of December, and I've already finished a book for December, and I'm just hoping we are onwards and upwards. That is it from me today, guys. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe if you'd like to see more and have not already, and chat to me down in the comments. Let me know what books you read in the month of November. I would love to hear what your favorite was. I make videos every Monday and Thursday, and I'll see you in a new one. Bye!